Hi there. Welcome to another talk. And I've already done 2 parts of this talk. And this is part 3 of if you want to make a change, then look in the mirror. And you know, that's really how you make the change. You know, you've got to start with yourself, because if you can't change yourself, then how are you going to influence other people? You see? It's like people that do a course on life coaching. You can't do a course on life coaching, because to be a life coach, you got to coach your own life first. You see? See, people want to you get this in the spiritual community. They want the end goal without doing the hard necessary work. But things have to happen in stages. That's just the way things are. And regarding change, my awakening, my unexpected spiritual awakening, is an example of how you do change properly. You know, when I had this unexpected spiritual awakening, I chose to look within myself, because I had enough of the depression and everything that I went through up until that point. And what happened in that moment when I had the awakening was a shift in consciousness. Now the shift in consciousness is to the 5th dimension. That, you know, from 3rd dimension you go to 4th. The 4th dimension is where you're aware of all this parallel stuff going on, and the 5th dimension, the spiritual awakening dimension. And like my dad was saying to me the other day, he says we need violence, and he says it a lot. And what I say to my dad is, you know, I've said it to him, and I'll say it now, that if you're being violent to the system, because you want them to go with what you're wanting, that is fascism. That's just the same as the system, right? You're doing no better than the system then. And then it's just an endless cycle of division, you know, fighting each other all the time. The solution is unity, togetherness, oneness. And how do you do that? Well, the HeartMath Institute explains how you do it. You know, it's the same thing that happened to me when I had this awakening. The HeartMath Institute talks about it as well. And you start living from your heart vortex area. And through the heart vortex, we are connected through the heart. And they explain that when you start working from that space, you can connect with other people and even animals through this heart electromagnetic energy. But it's the right electromagnetic energy, you see. And through this, you can know what to say to people. You'll be able to be oneness with them through this heart vortex, and become a one with them, with the heart. And ultimately, this kind of way can build a relationship with your heart and brain, developing you to the state of knowing things and not thinking things, but knowing it. And because the heart is guiding the brain, you just know, because the heart knows. The head thinks, but the heart knows. But you know, this is in relation to what I'm talking about, because you want to make a difference, you have to connect with people. You have to uplift people. You have to inspire them. And you can only do that based on how inspired you are. If you're being violent, then you're not doing that. You're not inspiring anyone. You're just dishing out more hatred. And I'm sure my dad, deep down, I think he knows that, but it's easier just to say, oh, we'll just be violent, you know. I think for a lot of people it's, oh, you know, because if you're not violent, you have to think then, you see. And for a lot of people, they don't want to think. They don't want to really think about things and find the solution. But yeah, violence, and you know, if you do that, you're just mirroring the system. Right? And you can't say you're against the establishment if you're just doing what they would do. And remember, the system knows how to fight violence, right? That's its game. You're not going to beat the system at that. They've got frequencies in the military that can just put you to your knees. So, you know, but what they don't know how to fight against or what to deal with is non-violence. What they don't know how to deal with is non-compliance with what they're saying. Peaceful non-compliance. Because this has never been done before. What I'm talking about is I wrote a song about it, and the song is called The Revolution of Love, and that's really what's going on here. And it all starts, the revolution of love regarding yourself starts when you choose to look within yourself and change your energy. And then your energy is always interacting with people and reality, and you're affecting that because an energy affects another energy. If you're in a state of violence and that kind of energy, you're not going to be dishing a very high vibrational energy. And remember, a planet is just an energy field. So, like I said before, if you're protesting, protests have been going on since, I think, the 16th century. And look at where we are now. You see? The global spiritual awakening has only been going on for a couple of years. And look how much progress we've made. The system is basically in panic mode now. That's why they're trying to rush this Agenda 2030, which is to get the brain hooked up to the AI. Now, so COVID-19 is basically a hoax, and they created it so they could have an excuse to get the vaccine out there. But yeah, they're the ones in panic. And what they want to do is they want to get you into we've got a part in our brain called the reptilian brain. And that is the part that reacts to fear. That's the part, like my dad saying to me, we need violence. That's the reptilian brain talking. When you start to live from the heart area, the heart vortex, you're connecting with, I call it, the heaven self. And that's the you that lives in heaven. Heaven is actually a place. You've got the spirit world, then you've got heaven. And when you start interacting with that realm, you don't really, you know, the reptilian brain gets very dampened down. It's still there because it's important, but because you're living from the heart space, that aligns you with just perfection. Because you're tuned into this divine self, the heaven self, which is like a perfect you. But all this perfect you, it starts, like me, by choosing to look within yourself. Right? Choosing to look within and changing yourself. You can't expect change to change the world or another person if you can't even be bothered to change yourself. And that's the only thing you can do. It's like you can only love a person based on how much you love yourself. It's a mirror. It's the same with when you're making change. How you make change to another person is all based upon how good your energy is, right? For example, if you've got a very low energy field, that will affect other people. If you've got a very high energy field, that will affect people. So the best thing you can do if you want to make change is change the space, the energy field that you occupy, and then you are making the best difference possible by doing that. You know, you can't control who interacts with you on a daily basis. You can't to a certain degree, but you know what I mean. But you can control your energy field, and you can heighten that or lower it. So the best thing you can do to make change is to change your energy. And yeah, you know, but it's true. You know, if you're being violent, and you know, that's just what the system does. That the system is a bunch of fascists, imposing its will on us. You know, we're seeing this just now with the masks, right, and the COVID stuff. When this virus has never been purified to prove it exists. So this is all being done illegally. But you know, back to what I was talking about. You know, if you want change, yeah, if you want change. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. But the thing is, people, like I said earlier in this talk, people want the end goal. It's like spiritual development. They want to get to Z. They want the spiritual awakening, right? Or they want the ascension level, very high ascension level, without getting the spiritual awakening, without doing the internal work. So it's like the same with change. You know, you've got to change yourself, and that's the best thing you can do. That's the only way to change reality, because like I say, you can only control your outward things to a certain degree, but the thing that you can change the most is yourself and the feelings within you, and how your feelings are, your energies within you will determine how other people feel after interacting with you. And this is like this is heart-based living. This, what you're actually doing is you're using your heart to deal with other people, and you're letting, and basically when you're living from there, the heart, like this, you're letting love lead the way. And you know, these people that say let's be violent, they're basically anarchists without a plan. There's no plan there. If we're going to abolish government, you have to have some sort of plan. And the plan, you know, for me, is heart-based living, because that connects us as one collective consciousness. And when you're one collective consciousness and you're working from the heart area, this is how you ascend to divine intelligence. So basically, it can ascend us all, if we all live from the heart, to the state where we're oneness with each other. And you can make better decisions when you're like this, right? And if we were doing that, then the whole world as a whole would be a lot better. And that really, for me, needs to be the plan. Not let's all be violent, you know. You're just copying. Antifa, for example, says they're anti-Nazi, fascism, but they're fascists. Black Lives Matter says they're like that, but they're just like that. They've beaten people up in that, you know, and done crazy things. So before you try to influence others and you're trying to say, I want this, I want change, make sure that you check yourself first. Right? Check yourself. You know, work on yourself. And then when you work on yourself and you're evolving yourself, you become an example of what to be. Right? And that is the best way you can make change. And it all starts by living from the heart space. And this puts you on a pathway of forgiveness and letting go. And this is how you align your chakra system as well. But anyway, I'm just going to let it go. Finish the talk now. For latest updates, videos, talks like this, please do visit my website at www.lovelifefamily.com. Thank you for watching and listening.